fine? The WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser-measured floor liners, no-drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street-legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Architecture is about everything. We change the environment. We are changing how people live in the environment today. So we basically put our fingerprint on the future of what the United States looks like. My overall business philosophy is that I'm engaged with my company from top to bottom. And I think the racing world and helping out the next generation and younger drivers is a passion of mine, and it's getting stronger and stronger every year. With that, that's why I want to be involved.
Race cars, big, powerful race cars out on the circuit here. 1.9 mile Portland International Raceway. Ralph Shaheen and Ben Sissel with you. We've got some great SVRA action coming your way this afternoon. Is what has been a tremendous doubleheader weekend, Ben.
Yeah, so much fun to watch. This is our crowd favorite group, the big muscle cars, the ground pounders, the earth shakers. There's Paul Menard's car. I was talking actually earlier today with Mark Berardi, and he was telling us, somebody asked if this guy could sit in this car, and he kept looking over there, and this guy kept sitting in his car, and he gets out and introduces himself as Paul, and then he said, thanks for letting me sit in your car that used to be my car. And that was the first time he realized that was Paul Menard sitting in the Paul Menard car. And I talked to Paul Menard about that, and he said it was like getting into a time machine. He drove that car for 3 years. So, and then we did some homework. So the Daytona, Studebaker Daytona, driven by Jeff Taylor, it's got Easley Motors on the side of it, and then the name of the driver is Rex Easley, which I think is pretty funny.
Of course, that Studebaker Daytona based off of the Studebaker Lark. We were learning about that yesterday, and I think it's really cool that a Studebaker Daytona paced the Indy 500. Here we go, wedging for that green. There it is. We're underway.
Well, Chris Pauling.
Well, once again, my favorite car didn't make the call, the big Camaro, but my second favorite car, that blue and white Corvette, did. So we'll keep some eyes on that.
That's James Buskirk in that Group 6 AP Chevrolet Corvette.
Yeah, and unfortunately, also later today, the Luigi BMW that you and I both drool a lot over, not able to make it out.
No.
He got a hole in the radiator yesterday.
Yeah, but here we go. Pauling, Chris Pauling up there in that gas. I just found this out actually talking to some of the drivers this morning. The Great American Stock Car Series, we have 3 or 4 of those out there today, was started by Chris Evans. This Dodge here also in that, so that's really cool. Finding out information that I probably should have known beforehand. But as they come around here, and look at this, we've got Dominic Martinelich in that Chevrolet Corvette and Chris Pauling going at it. I do also like that Corvette. John Wyrick that tuned me in to the Great American Stock Car Series. I guess he listened to the broadcast and wanted to make us get it right. But you can see Mount Hood there in the distance, just over the bridge. We are in the shadow of Mount Hood here at Portland International Raceway as Pauling comes around the 1-2-3 Shelton Chicane Complex. This is kind of a gas stock car, late model car with a big engine with a TA GT1 car just behind. That is our last year's Western Championship of Steve Goldman's car. Steve Goldman now is in a Chevrolet Camaro. Chris Evans in this group running currently in 7th. You can see Dominic trying to get around Pauling here. Might make it happen there at turn 10 and 11. As he does, he gets around. Then Ernie Spada in 4th, but now Dominic out front. I'm not sure if Pauling's scorekeeper. Oh, Pauling into pit lane, so he's having problems. So that changes it. So we've got Millsap in 2nd, then Berardi, then Ernie Spada. We couldn't get 4 more different cars here in the top 4 for our Group 6, 10, and 12 feature with SVRA here at the PIR Speed Tour. So we've got Dominic, then here's Millsap, not related to Ronnie Millsap. That's Mick Millsap. And that's not Ronnie driving, although Ronnie Millsap used to drive his tour bus. He'd had a crew guy that would be just barely looking over, and Ronnie Millsap famously would look like he was driving into like festival days just to scare everybody because, of course, he was famously blind.
Yes. Nor any relation to Davey Millsap. That's a whole other story.
Sean Berardi there in that TA2 car. Chevrolet Camaro in Group 10 GT4. And then Ernie Spada.
I was talking to Ernie earlier today about the Brune Porno sponsorship livery on that car. And I asked him what his passion was for that. And he said he's Italian himself and just decided to paint his cars in representative livery of those Brune race cars. Now, to make the story even better, he actually owns a Brune Porsche 962. Has it in his collection. He showed me pictures of his collection, and I'm an extremely jealous man over that right now.
That's awesome.
I gotta tell you, his collection is pretty outstanding. But he lives here in the Pacific Northwest, and he said he almost brought the 962 out here this weekend just to have it on display, even though he wasn't going to run it. He said because it's such a cool car, he knew people would want to see it. But he said it's a big thing, so it's a bit of a nightmare moving it around.
They are tough to push out of trailers and things like that. But I got to give it up for Ernie Spada, the United Salad Company. Couldn't happen to a better person. So nice. He provides every year. It's kind of a tradition. Fresh strawberry shortcake for the whole paddock. It's kind of the highlight of the weekend. Some would even say the vintage racing season. So thank you, Ernie Spada, his whole family, and the United Salad Company for doing that.
I will definitely agree with you on that. It was the highlight of the weekend for sure when it comes to our astronomical exploration of the Northwest. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Mark Adams there in that E-Type. followed by Gunther Pitchler and his Jaguar E-Type.
So, Ben, here's one more thing about Ernie's 962. So if you know much about the history of the 962s, there was the IMSA version and the World Endurance Championship version. There was 962 that ran over here, and then there was 962C, which ran in the other championship. Most cars, if you buy one and you get it for vintage racing, is one or the other. Ernie's car started life as a 962C chassis 107 and then was crashed and converted to a 962. So it's got provenance racing at Le Mans and Spa and all the big tracks in Europe, as well as Daytona and Sebring and Portland and other legendary tracks here in America. So his is a pretty rare Porsche 962, especially coming out of that Brune stable of race cars.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is Del Hardy in that 8X. And if you ever want to impress almost no ladies at a car show, if you ever see a split window Corvette, what year would that be, Ralph?
63.
63, the only year they made a split window. And almost nobody is impressed with that, but it still makes you feel good sharing those little trivial facts, right?
And it raises the question once again, why? Why was it the only year, right?
I think I read something that just the visibility.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people actually, I guess Chevrolet offered that they would cut it out and put a whole rear window in there. And then I bet you those people are kicking themselves now.
But it's just so iconic.
It
right?
looks so good.
It looks so good. You wonder, styling-wise, why didn't they just stick with it a little longer? It's like the 69 Camaro. Why did you guys stop?
Yeah. Yeah, it worked. You know, why fix what has worked? Why
don't
fix anything if it's not broken?
It ain't broken, don't fix it.
But that is a beautiful car.
It really is.
What is your favorite C of Corvette?
I got to tell you, I think you have to split that up, right? You have to look at the older cars and the more modern cars. Of the more modern cars, I really like the C7. But the C7, I had one, incredibly aggressive looking car, just looked good every time you spotted one out on the road. No offense to the C8 or any of the others, but I just think the C7 was special looking.
Sean Bovary.
Of the earlier cars, it would have to be the 60s era cars. I think there's a longer run in there of cars, the C2s, that you'll like more. Like the C3, like you go, okay, 68, 69, that's really cool. Then it starts tailing away as you get into the 80s and performance-wise and all of that.
Here it is, Ernie Spada catching up to Millsap. Sean Berardi falling back, not sure what happened, but this is such a great illustration here of handling versus horsepower. Of course, that Dodge Camo has the horsepower, but that Porsche has the handling. So the Dodge should take off coming in here into turn 10 and 11, but then Spada should be able to suck right behind him as they get behind that E-Type.
It's going to have the handling, it's going to have the braking as well, right?
Yeah.
I asked Ernie, I said, what is it you love about Porsches so much that you have so many of them? He goes, they just do everything right. And he's 100% correct on that. If you've ever owned one, I mean, they're just so easy to maintain and drive, and just drive them and enjoy them.
Yeah.
No matter which model you got.
So that's another one of the great American stock car series cars there in that Mopar. Ernie Spada with United Salad Company coming up right behind him as they go from that turn 3 to turn 4 complex. And this track is very deceiving. You know, I've done it setting up signs and banners and things around in like rental cars. I've never done it at speed, but it's increasing and decreasing radiuses all around. So even though there isn't a huge elevation change, I think about 18 inches in the whole track, about a 2-mile track, but it is a very difficult track, especially this turn here that sets you up for almost half of the circuit.
Yeah, turn 7 right there. Very technical. It'll give drivers fits and nightmares. Not because it's scary, it's the slowest corner on the racetrack, but because making the corner right technically is so difficult to do.
And this is frustrating for somebody like Ernie, who could probably hit his brakes at the 1 or the 2 marker, but the Millsap car has to hit probably around the 4 or the 5, but he still, it's just a 1 lane through there. So even though he can outbrake him easily, he can't really make a good dive bomb in there because then you're set up for the completely wrong side for the next corner. You see Wyrick there just in front of these two drivers. Spada getting right behind him, a little bit too close. Coming through the Shelton chicane. And another beautiful day here at Portland International Raceway. Like I said, you could see Mount Hood over the main straight. But let's see what Spada can do here. It's all about, like what you said, Ralph, of just setting yourself out of turn 7. Now they've got this car, see if he can set a pick. But Sean Berardi now has gotten up right behind him in that TA2 car. So watch out for that as well.
He's usually pretty quick in that car, too.
So Spada fell back a little bit, putting Sean Berardi.
Berardi dipping a wheel or two there.
They do that a lot all season long, but for some reason here at Portland, it's dusty. It makes for an even better show here.
You know, you mentioned Ernie Spada as he was going into the Shelton chicane. One of the cars in Ernie's collection is a Monty Shelton Porsche that he campaigned throughout the Pacific Northwest back in the 80s. Boy, Berardi's going everywhere.
He is,
dipping wheels all over the place.
And there's the Dick Trickle car. Yes, if my wife is still watching, that is the actual name of a NASCAR driver. Dick Trickle, very famous.
Oh, man, that could have been ugly. Great job by Ernie Spada to avoid that.
Yeah.
Man.
Mick Millsap goes around in that Dodge stock car. That's just looking in your mirrors, that's a lot of weight to carry around with that very nimble, quick and nimble Porsche behind him. So Ernie Spada played that very well, just getting into his mirrors.
That could have been very expensive.
Yeah.
Rearranging the front end of that 991.2 car.
Sean Berardi, who joined us last year in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series and TA2, running in the SVRA Group 10 this weekend, which he did, I think, at Sonoma and Laguna with us as well. His dad is out there in the Paul Menard's car. That's a beautiful looking TA2 car, though.
Yeah, it is cool.
Not afraid to dip his wheels as Sean. Here we go. Group 6, the Jaguar E-Type. It's the number 38 of Gunter Pitchler, letting the 67 possibly go around. The 67 of David Adelsman and a Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS. There goes the Interscope Porsche Tribute 930 Turbo of Robert Eagle, very famous. We've had some 930s with us, and I just really love the look of the 930s.
Ted Fields, the former owner of Interscope Records, was the guy that owned all those Interscope Porsches. And Danny Ngaius, the Flying Hawaiian, was one of the legendary wheelmen of those Interscope cars. He also ended up getting out of the Porsches and into GTPs. In fact, he used to run a Lola when they first hit the GTP era of IMSA competition in Interscope colors.
So here comes our leader, Dominic Martinelich, in that gold or that orange Corvette from last year. There's the Interscope 930 of Robert Eagle. I can't imagine going from turn 12 down to turn 4 without the chicane. I mean, every single car out there would be at its limit, at its top speed.
Without a doubt. And at the limits of your brakes when you got to the other end.
Yeah.
First couple of trips down would be okay. You might be getting a little nervous around lap 6, right?
Look at how beautiful that car is.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous race car.
So are we making a Porsche fan out of you, Ralph?
My meager lifestyle compared to yours.
Yeah, right. Well, there is Steve Goldman in that Chevrolet Camaro. Steve Goldman was last year's TA champion in the Trans Am Series Western Championship. And now he's here trying out this new car. His car that he won the championship with last year is leading the race. So he's kind of winning twice here in one race.
And maybe thinking he made a bad business decision?
No, I think he's just having fun. I think he's wanting to work his way, get comfortable with these TA Cup cars, and work his way back into Trans Am, the TA Cup route. And I applaud that. Actually, I met him here. He brought that car to race in Group 10. And I said, hey, just so you know, Steve, that car would qualify to run in Trans Am. And he said, really? And so he did. My wife is listening, and she doesn't believe us about Dick Trickle. No, we're not playing a trick. You can look it up. He was very famous.
Legendary, straight out of Wisconsin.
Cole Trickle from Days of Thunder is kind of an homage to that.
The White Knight was his nickname. He ran the white 99. He used to run 99 everywhere he went. That was his number. Kind of like King with 43.
Yeah. And here comes the Paul Menard car. Like we were saying, Paul Menard ran that car in NASCAR for 3 years. Loved it. That was the era that he absolutely loved in NASCAR. Then they went to that kind of car of tomorrow, which he wasn't very fond of. But he sat in there for 30 minutes just because he said it felt like a time machine. Just had a ton of fun.
Not many people were a fan of the car of tomorrow.
Now this is Ralph's favorite car out there. Beautiful. That number 71, James Buskirk.
Yeah, and you know, this car has been through a handful of owners. It's a 1968. Bill Leonard out of East Haven, Connecticut was the original owner. It came British green with a saddle tan interior, the 327. Bill caught the racing bug and decided to go racing in SCCA B production starting in 1974. He was self-sponsored and had a lot of fun racing against the big names of the day like Bob Leitzinger, Jim Fitzgerald, and of course Paul Newman. He eventually sold the car off to David Levertu of Pennsylvania in 1994, who began vintage racing the car in SVRA. And he also had some success with the car in Mid-Ohio, Pocono, Roebling Road, and a wide variety of other places, and eventually sat in Mr. Levertu's Auto Museum. Colby Hillman out of Ohio bought the car, commissioned the Duntov Motor Corp of Dallas to completely...
That's how I know the car. Okay,
completely restore the car, top to bottom, and then they got busy playing with the car, and it showed up for the first time at Circuit of the Americas in 2018. And then Jamie Buskirk of Washington State is the fourth owner of the car, and the man driving it here today and having a tremendous time with it. A little of the history of the car.
And how he's done the blue on the side there with a little bit of an homage to the Owens Corning, you know, with the
red
stripes there on the back. But it really accentuates the lines. I think that's my favorite iteration of the Corvette.
I like the 69, the 68, 69 model era, which is what this is here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They make great looking race cars.
Yeah.
White flag is out. Mark Martin headed to the white. Oh, that's actually the Trickle car. Hard to tell from that far away. Really very similar. Oh, look at the Corvette getting loose under braking going into... He wisely doesn't try to attack the corner.
That happens in these older vintage cars is you get on the binders and one of the calipers hits before the other one does, and it can send these Corvettes, these C3s, to the right or to the left about 2 to 3 feet, and you don't know which way it's going to go.
Well, it's going to get your attention, that's for sure.
I'm hearing checkered flag on the leader.
Yep, I see it waving across the way.
So Dominic Martinelich is our winner in that beautiful orange Trans Am champion winning car.
Ernie Spade is going to take second in the Brune Porsche.
Nice job, Ernie Spade. Thank you for the fresh strawberry shortcakes this weekend. Strawberries picked in the morning, brought to us in the afternoon. Doesn't get any better than that, unless they put some ice cream on top.
Yeah, they bring it to us today.
So there is our leader, winner, Dominic Martinelich, then Ernie Spade, then Sean Berardi, and then Steve Goldman, who that car used to belong to, It's going to be coming in fourth. Nice job. Mark Berardi in the Paul Menard car. Fifth. Roger Eagle went from 9th to 6th. Nice job. Ron Miska in the Dick Trickle car. But there's one of my favorites, that Studebaker Daytona from Easley Motor Cars. And the name is Rex Easley. I just think that's funny. Yeah, vintage racing is supposed to be fun. So that's not his real name. His real name is Jeff Taylor, but on the side it says Rex Easley with Easley Motor Cars, just to be fun with it. And this is supposed to be fun, people.
And then at the very back of the car, just above the license plate, it says the Easley way to buy a new Studebaker.
Well, there we go. We've got Dominic Martinelich in first, Ernie Spada second, Sean Berardi, Steve Goldman fourth, Mark Berardi fifth, that's father-son, Roger Eagle, Ron Miska, James Buskirk eighth, John Wyrick ninth, David Adelsman in 10th. For our Group 6, 10, 12 Sprint Race 2, Mark Adams 11th, Gunter Pichler 12th, Del Hardy 13th, Jeff Taylor 14th, Mick Millsap 15th, and Chris Pauling, who led the first lap and had to come in after that. Not sure what happened to Millsap or Pauling in that one.
Well, that'll wrap up our coverage of this one. We will take a short break. We will be right back with more great SVRA racing at Portland International Raceway. Stay with us.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
Said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, look out, Miller, look
All right, so Ben Sissel here, the Portland Speed Tour. This is such a fun event, but we're going to talk about the Trans Am Western Championship, and I thought no better person than somebody who competed in the National Championship at every race last year, every event here in the Western Championship. So, Barry, explain the Western Championship to anybody out there that may not be familiar.
Yeah, so the Western Championship, as was explained to me before I got into it, was that it was a little bit more grassroots, right? People were showing up sometimes with their car on a trailer, right? Not necessarily the full professional support. These were incredibly good drivers, but maybe just didn't have the funding to run the national series. And so the West Coast Series was a place where they could go and be very, very competitive, right, with perhaps maybe some hand-me-down equipment. I decided I was going to run in the West Coast Championship for extra time in the car, right? And I got here, and I wasn't sure how people were going to react to, the national championship guys showing up in the Western Championship. Everybody welcomed me with open arms. They said, you know what? We'd like to really know, how do we stack up against the national guys? We know where you're at in the national championship. Let's see how you do here. This is going to be fun. And what I found out is there are some incredibly good drivers here with some incredibly good prepared cars. Right? These are fantastic race car drivers. Most of them are over on the West Coast just because their schedule and their work doesn't allow them to do the whole national series. But what it came over is I found a whole lot of competition on some really, really cool, iconic tracks in the West Coast. It's been growth for me, and getting to know the guys here. Right, everybody is friendly. They're excited I'm here. I'm excited they're here. And I love the fact that Trans Am has the opportunity, for people on the West Coast to have a full championship and make it work.
Yeah, and I love the camaraderie here with the Western Championship, but then also the seat time. So I know you're working with Scott, your instructor at all the events, but the seat time that you've gotten is what's putting you qualifying third at Mid-Ohio, and you are really moving up. And I've seen Barry Bowes just get so much better year after year, and I think a lot of that would just be attributed to just more and more seat time.
A lot of that is seat time. My team is incredibly important too, right? Tristan McKee and I get along really well together. We push each other. Funny to say when he's so much better than I am, right? But still, we push each other and we get better together. But the seat time is big. And in the Western Championship, a lot of these races are double headers. It's less expensive to do more races when you come do 2 races in a weekend. And when we're going to come over here, that's also true. So I really love. Now, last year, I had hopes for winning the Western Championship. And then on a Saturday at Sonoma, I had a blowout, put the car on the wall, and I had to miss a Saturday and Sunday race. That's the disadvantage of a doubleheader, right? But you get a lot more racing time, and I really love that about the West Coast Championship, right? If I could do a few races, I'd do the West Coast races because you're going to get a lot more quality race time here.
I love that. Well, Barry Bowes currently second in points in our Western Championship in the Cube 3 TA2 Series. Thank you so much for filling us in on the Western Championship.
Thank you.
And we are back here at Portland with Ben's favorite category of the day.
Which is quickly becoming my favorite. It's just really good racing. My favorite cars are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My favorite racing is the B sedan, the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge, but the crowd favorite is what we just saw with Group 6, 10, and 12. But this is Group 8, kind of a medium bore production cars. We've got some Datsun 510s, BMW 2002, Datsun 240Zs, a Porsche 912, a Volvo 142. Got about 800 pounds on all the other cars out there. A Datsun 260Z, beautiful car. And then a Devon 295. And Ralph, you taught me about the whole 295 thing. I think that's a cool story. That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, and they clipped right onto MGAs, Austin Healey's, Jaguars. So if you just wanted a different look, you could just basically lift the body off of your MG and put that little sporty or more Ferrari-looking body on there. So we got lights out. We got 25 cars taking the start here. And then a lot of these cars will be back here in just an hour with our Hoosier Tire 2.5 Challenge.
25 cars all screaming into turn one at the Shelton chicane. Should make for some wonderful chaos.
There's our race director, Matt Thunder Rhodes, back there in that Gulf liveried BMW 2002. I was calling him in the car yesterday because that's what our sheet said, but that was actually Troy Ermish in his car getting after it. But I think today Matt Rose is out there, and his big competition is Kevin Shaha right next to him in that Datsun 510. We've got a BMW E30 out there too of Mark Francis. But here they come, Ralph, to take the green.
Now the flag stand is almost all the way down to turn one, so they got a ways to go down the front straightaway before they'll see the green wave. There it is. And fanning out 2-3 wide. Now you start looking for that brake pedal right about here. Three wide going into the corner. That's not going to work.
Arvin Corbani got the worst of that. But Paul Gaudio, what a great start for him in that Porsche 912. It's actually a Porsche 911. It's got a Porsche 911 motor with a Porsche 912 body. Ara Malkassian in second place right behind Moriarty, and then Rob Bellevue, who gave me some fantastic shrimp here last night in that Datsun 240, just going after it with Jeff Mosing. Both of them kind of running the Datsun BRE colors. There's that 260Z of Izzy Lepitz. Look at Mosing and Rob Bellevue side by side. Bill Hartstein is out there, his family, and we wish them a happy birthday yesterday. They were watching from North Carolina. But this is the fight.
I was talking to Rob Bellevue, who owns that 240Z, the white one back here, running in fourth position. Basically a stock car. Guys at DSR did the engine work on it. And he was telling me, he said, it's a lot of fun to race this car. He said, the problem is he's 500 pounds heavier than the 510s.
Yeah. Which isn't that weird. You wouldn't think that. A sports car in a car that was made to be a family sedan in about the same era. But those Datsun 510s were made to be the economy cars, so they didn't add a bunch of weight with extra fancy things. They just thought they were the disposable cars at the time. Basically the Nissan Sentras of the day. But there's Moriarty in a beautiful, you got to look at this thing up close, hand-painted Josh Moriarty Datsun 510 gold medallion car. That Ara Malkassian, that is another beautiful car, very competitive driver. His wife Allison is out there in a Miata this weekend. We're going to see her in the next race. And then Ara will be back in the race after that. Moriarty, not only a gold medallion car, but one of our fastest in the 510. And I did go ask him this morning if I was correct in saying that the preferred engine on these 510s is the 1800. You know, they came with a 1600, they came with an 1800, and they came with a 2-liter. The 1800 is the more balanced engine. And so the rules state that, you know, it has to come with an 1800 engine. And so the 1800s were only released in every country basically but North America. But the rules stated the car had to come in an 1800. It didn't state which country. So a lot of people, I guess, brought them over from Japan to race the 1800 with twin Mikuni carburetors, which are very similar to like a Weber 45. The Japanese version of a Weber, basically. Here he comes. You can see they're looking a little bit rough. Very racy is Moriarty and Malkassian. So these were the family sedans of the day. Ooh, oh, look at this. He locked it up, gave Malkassian the room. It just wasn't able to make it happen, but maybe lost some momentum there as they come down this long back straight into turn 10 and 11.
As I look at this second car in line here, doesn't that paint scheme kind of remind you of the Sublime Mopar color scheme?
Yeah.
Oh,
he was trying to use that little pit road just to give him some, and then he had to get on the brakes there a little bit. That's really going to hurt him going into one.
Yeah, but he's grinning from ear to ear.
Yeah. And then Mosing right behind. Mosing, one of our fastest drivers in this series. Ex-IMSA driver. I was giving him a hard time when we were talking in the paddock, because usually Jeff Mosing brings with him 3 or 4 very good-looking women. And I was looking for that in the paddock, and he said, yeah, they weren't able to come this weekend. So we were both disappointed. Priority, now Cassian, Mosing, 3 of our tops that we're going to see in a race in about an hour in the Hoosier Tire 2.5 Challenge. Then Rob Bellevue in that beautiful 240Z. Look at Malcassian. Malcassian comes into 7 a lot faster and then gets held up. And then he has to get on the binders. And maybe Moriarty's doing that on purpose to, try to keep him back. So now, look at that. Mosing. He had to get hard on the binders there to avoid the contact, and that's really cost him. And is something happening at the bottom of his car? It looked like something was coming out of the bottom of his car there with Malcassian. So now Mosing takes second place. He takes a little bit more timid line this time. He's probably just trying to catch up, let the tires come back to him. I think most of the 510 drivers are running a Hoosier Speedster tire. Then we've got Rob Bellevue, Armin Gorbani, who was last year, 2 years ago, champion in the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge. And then Tony Delane, we haven't mentioned him too much, but Tony Delane in that beautiful red, white, and blue BMW 2002. Gaudio in that 911. Then Tim Probert and Penny. There's my Volvo, Hans Gutmann. It's a great name for a Volvo driver. Then Daniel Wu, the movie star right there. And the number 74, not just a movie star, but producer, director, is Daniel Wu.
Can he get you a cameo appearance in?
I would love it. Yeah, let's see. I have a friend that produces and directs Hallmark movies, and I just want to be a person in the background buying a Christmas tree in a Hallmark Christmas movie, because, little known fact about me, I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
Do you really?
I watch them all. Every single one.
Really?
Yes. My wife and I love them. The worse, the better.
All right.
So Ashley, our PR director, and Jessica Trippy will sometimes text each other starting about Thanksgiving on, hey, have you seen this new Hallmark movie? It's really good, or it's really bad. You got to watch it. There's another gold medallion car of Tim Probert Penny. It's called that because of the copper penny. But look at this. Mosing, Moriarty, side by side. New leader.
Yeah, headed down to the Shelton chicane.
You know, Ralph, I need to talk to Troy Ermish for us, but as the commentators, I think we need to have a few laps in these 510s so we can really speak about driving it. Yeah. Let's make that happen. We might have to put some money into escrow, but we'll make it happen. I was going through my pictures on my iPad on the flight over here, and just 10 years ago, I took photos of 510s for sale with Rebello engines that were for sale here that were running that weekend. They were $13,500 and $14,500, $14,000.
Don't you wish you
now,
bought a dozen?
Oh, yeah. Now these cars are pushing between $60,000 and $110,000, and the competitive ones are around $100,000.
Not going down.
No, they're not going down. I missed my window. So now Jeff Mosing over Moriarty. He started in third, moved his way up to first. Now Holly Armish, who did the driver start your engines, the PR director for Hoosier 2.5 Challenge, she put a new faster sticker on the back of Mosing's car, and he says it's given him some speed. There's Phil Hartstein around Hans Gutmann. I do believe Hans was telling me that Volvo has about 800 pounds over these 510s and BMWs. Armin Gorbani, Rob Bellevue going at it. What's your favorite in this class?
I like the Z cars a lot. I just like the look of them.
Yeah.
The 510 obviously is an easy choice, but I just like the look of the Z cars this era. 240 and the 260.
Green 911.
Well, yeah,
it's tough
you
to
can never go wrong with that.
So the body is a 912. The engine is a 911. And there he's side by side with Tony Delane.
Yeah, the 912 was more of a touring luxury level.
And it had a 356 engine in it.
Yeah.
And then they went up to that 911. So it had like a air-cooled, Volkswagen Beetle engine in it, basically, a 356. This should have, what is it, a flat 6 in the 911? It's the smaller flat 6. So Rob Bellevue now trying to get out from Armin Gorbani. Those 510s, they do cut a big hole in the air. Using the draft, and now Rob Bellevue out front. I believe that car used to belong to our head of tech, John Wilkins. Gorbani trying to get around. And Rob Bellevue was with us at Indy, if you remember, in the Ginetta.
Yes.
The Ginetta Challenge. He brought that 240, but I think he had mechanical, and he didn't want to go home, so he rented a Ginetta street car, basically, and raced in the race. It had street tires on it. Armin Gorbani, like I said, champion 2 years ago. I haven't seen Brian O'Shaughnessy out there.
They had a flat tire on that Z this morning. Weren't sure how it got that way, but it was when they got to the track.
Yeah, Brian O'Shaughnessy is down 5 laps. I didn't see him come in. Not sure what's happening there. He's back out on track, though. Here he is coming into view in your bottom right. That was last year's champion, is Brian O'Shaughnessy in that Hot Wheels BMW 2002. And now here come the leaders. Have you looked at this car up close?
I did.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's a great
hand painted.
It's a lost art form, isn't it?
Yeah. There's our leader in that BRE kind of tribute livery.
I was thinking we've got to be getting close to the end of this one, too.
Oh, I forgot about that E30 M3 too. I just love the E30s. I had one for a while that my kids called Justin Beamer. It's a great little car.
Great nickname.
That's Edmund Germain in that BMW 2002. Edmund races with us in a gray one. I haven't seen him in this one before. Personally, I prefer the look of the BMW 2002 or even the Alfa Romeo or the Cortina over the 510s. But if I was racing, I think I'd want a 510.
Yeah.
If I was trying to impress the ladies, maybe an Alfa Romeo. There's Tony Delane.
Going off. I think that was our actor there.
I think that's Gorbani.
Is it Gorbani?
I can't tell because Daniel Woos is red and silver. That looks like
that
Gorbani.
was the black and red.
And Gorbani lost a wheel yesterday in the 1, 2, and 3, so he's having some bad luck. Yeah, Armin Gorbani. Yeah, our producers are saying, they're confirming that that's the number 25 He was running, I think, in 4th at the time. There's that BMW E30, and you can see how it went from the 2002 to the E30. Very similar lines. And now here come the leaders.
Whoa.
Woo-hoo. The thing about this, the leaders in this group, the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge, the B sedans, they hang it all out there. You know, you don't see that usually from the leaders, but that's just kind of, you have to kind of throw these cars around because you get so much body roll. Those have just skyrocketed in price, those M3 E30. E30s have, but then the M3's 10 times over just a regular E30. And now here comes Jeff Mosing. Put the car a lap down. Mark Francis in that beautiful E30. I see Brian O'Shaughnessy coming back into the pits, so that car is just not running right. He's really more worried about the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge. So they're going to go try to fix that. It was funny, we were talking to Jeff Mosing while we were talking to Steve about his Volkswagen Beetle. And Jeff Mosing, big car dealer, but the first car he ever sold was a Bahama Blue 66 Volkswagen Beetle. So he was looking at Steve's, which is the same thing. A Bahama Blue, 1 year they offered that car. Everybody's got stories about these cars, but look at this, side by side, Ralph.
Yeah, and it might be your dad had one as his daily driver, or that's what mom took you to school in every day, or the neighbor next door had one, whatever it is. But everybody knows the story of one of those cars.
These Datsun 510s, I remember 10, 15 years ago, they were just everywhere. Now they're really hard to find.
And now they're in collections.
Adam Carolla has a few, and he usually races with.
He has a John Horton car, doesn't he? Can you imagine George Fulmer and Donahue and those guys screaming around the track and passing these guys at the same time? Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot like what we see in the modern Trans Am and the TA and the XGT and GT classes. But man, Ara Malkassian really trying to get around, trying to get his car to rotate there through turn 7 to try to set Moriarty up, but Mosing is just taken off.
Got a safety car out on the track. White and yellow.
You can see Kevin Shaha and Matt Thunder Rose, our race director, doing the right thing, giving him all the space in that safety car out there. You can see him waving a local yellow and the white flag. That isn't the end of the race. That just determines that there is a slow car on track. Here's our leaders, Mosing. So is that the checker flag? Why is he waving?
I don't know, unless he misread it.
I don't see a checker
flag waving over there.
So he's waving. So Mosing might be getting passed here, not knowing the race isn't over.
I would like to be able to tell you it's the first time I've ever seen that, but it's not. It's incredible how many times that actually has happened.
Yeah. It looks like they're back out, but he was kind of hand out the window. You don't hang the hand out the window unless you think the race is over. So somebody's told him, no, the race is still going. And let's see what Malkassian here in third does around turn 7. He's tried to do everything he can to knock off Moriarty.
Actually saw Mark Martin one time at Bristol pull in a lap early, not completing the race from the lead and losing because of that. So it can happen to anybody.
Garbani back out on track. Now Malkassian, because he had to get hard on the brakes there again around 7, falling way back. He's going to try to try to get it going again. Now, I'm looking at the starter stand to see if we're getting any kind of indication. Phil Hartstein, look at this. They're splitting.
Now we got a waving white flag, so this is one to go.
One to go for Jeff Mosen. And if you know Jeff well, you know that he's just in there laughing at himself, like calling himself, what an idiot, thought the race was over. Jeff Mosen just hopping over these curves. Missed his line there a little bit. Let's see if Moriarty can take advantage. So, Bill Hartstein's family has joined us again. They're rooting for number 36 and number 25. But here's our leader, Jeff Mosen. That's Matt Rose. That's Matt Thunder Rose right there outside of turn 7.
Facing the wrong way.
Our race director just showing people what not to do. You know, just teaching, constantly teaching. I like that. Moriarty, bring us home, Ralph. Moriarty's just got a few corners to do it.
That he does. This is turn 11. Double apex to 12. Out onto the front straightaway. Here he comes. Checkered flag is out. And Moriarty will take the win, or Mosing will take the win. Moriarty will finish second as they cross the line here to wrap it up with Group 8 at Portland International Raceway. Well, now, Ben, these guys have to hustle back and get ready as they'll be back for the 2.5 challenge coming up. 2 more races to go here today. Here comes that 260Z.
Now, it was funny because behind us there was Tim Richter, the race director for Trans Am, and he got a kick out of seeing Matt Rose because all of us work together in this you know, we're all one company. We're all very good friends. We were all having dinner this week, you know, just having a blast. But it was funny because Tim Richter's face when he saw Matt Rose around there was pretty funny. Daniel Wu, unfortunately, out of our window getting towed in, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But he should be out for the Hoosier 2.5 challenge, and there are the results, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Bellevue, the first out of the B sedan. Paul Gaudio in that 911, nice job. Phil Hartstein, 8th, an improvement over yesterday. David is saying nice drive by Ara, very nice drive.
Well, up next, Ben, will be groups 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
The best group, my favorite group, yes.
All right, we will have that for you in just a few minutes from here at Portland, so stay with us for more Sports Car Vintage Racing Association action coming up.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, Speedcom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
Good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds. The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
All right, Ben, here we go. Groups 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as we return to SVRA action here at the Speed Tour Portland International Raceway.
My favorite. Now, this is a group that we don't like to put together too much with the 2 and the 5, with the 1, 3, and the 4. But Group 1 is the small bore production cars. Group 2 is the Formula Fords, the Formula Bs. Group 3 is the smaller-ish, but not as small as the small bore production cars, like the 356s. Let me see what else is out there. A Volvo P1800, MGBs, Triumph TR4s would be out there. Group 4 is like the Devons, some like specials, things like that. And then Group 5 are the small sports racers, the Spec 4s, things like that. So there's the entry list here at the PIR Speed Tour. We've got Jason Perkins starting first, Stephen Temple second, Joshua Jacobs third, John McCoy fourth, Granton Perryman in a beautiful Brabham BT21, Dave Sweeney sixth, Sherm Johnston and Yarborough. That one. Then Scott Nell is 8th, Steve Yarborough 9th, John Piccini 10th, Mark Viskoff, Dean Willoughby, Gary Small, Cody Paris, Christine Casey, Tony Viskoff, Cameron Mail, Edward Hugo, Keel Phelps. Uh-oh, they're saying for the pace car to stay out. Not sure what's happened. Did you see that? Not sure what's happened here, so we'll But you know what? It was funny because Christine Casey apologized to me because she called me Patrick, and I think I called her Katie yesterday, so sorry about that.
I'm not sure if they spotted something on the track surface they wanted to take care of.
I don't see Christine out there. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, that would be something on the surface.
Here we go. It's one of the Formula Fords. That was the Titan Viking Blue of Scott Nell. Look at there's a Ford Cortina and then a Lotus Cortina. So we've got a split start between these groups. I hope they know that they're not taking the green. Uh-oh. Because they're pacing themselves. I hope they know they're not coming here to take the green. Stay yellow. Okay, good. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Led by Gary Small in that Volvo P1800. The sports car that Volvo made, basically. I love those things. So they're doing kind of a self-imposed split start, but the split start, the production cars need to speed up a little bit because they have really sped up this front group, and they're going to still be under pace when they take the green flag. So, Gary, hope you're listening. Got to speed up out there. There's Christine Casey in that Volkswagen Golf. Malik MK27. Almost looks like a drag racing funny car out there. Well, here they come to take the green flag, Ralph.
Getting ready to get this one underway. Watching that flag stand, which is high up in the air to their left. There's the flag, and we are underway. Getting ready to jump onto that brake pedal. Turning into the Shelton chicane. Yeah, there's your Malik running right there in third. moved up a little bit.
Jason Perkins takes the lead in that number 65 S2000.
Swift TB5.
But they're going to be catching up to the production cars who have not yet crossed around, come around turn 12. Those production cars better speed up.
Yeah, they're still heading into 9.
Gosh, this is going to be scary.
They're going to run into those cars by the time they get to the Shelton chicane, I think. It's the tail end of that group.
There's my favorite car.
Yep.
Love
Steve
that.
Smith. Yeah, there they are going into 11. Already caught him, and these guys haven't even taken the green yet.
And they can't get around.
Well, everybody's green now. And turn 1 just got a whole lot messier, I think. It's going to get a little more chaotic down here. Look at the maneuvering going on back here.
No, this is not good. Just hope everybody gets through it.
I will tell you what, Ben, kudos to the drivers because they did an outstanding job getting through that Shelton chicane like that, mixing a handful of categories together there. Everybody was very patient, gave each other a lot of respect and a lot of room. Well done.
Malik of John McCoy. Look how far back he sits on that.
Looks like a rear engine or front engine dragster.
Yeah. Then you've got a Formula B going there right in front of Steve Smith in turn 7. I don't like the look of this right now.
You want to complete that pass before you get to 9, which comes up awful quickly. Otherwise, you pretty much need to tuck in line and wait to the front straightaway here.
Jensen Healy of Richard Thomas. We don't see those too often. Great little British cars.
McCoy did a great job of clearing the traffic, and he's gone.
Yep. Perkins as well. But that,
I'm fanning out 3 wide going to the inside here.
That's Sherm Johnston and Yarborough, who passed the line at the same time yesterday.
Oh, Yarborough on that red car.
Christine Casey, I could tell, knowing her, she saw the cars and she was just uncomfortable being there with them because she wants to make sure they can see them and she can see them. So I appreciate that. That's just good driving from her.
Smart driving.
We did not do a good job of this race, and we're throwing everything at these drivers. And so far, it's a little bit more about surviving than driving right now. I apologize for that. That doesn't often happen. But so far, I'm really proud of our drivers for making good decisions. Now that it's spreading out, I can kind of breathe a sigh of relief.
I'll tell you, some of these sedan racers right now aren't necessarily sure who they're racing because they're dealing with all these faster open wheel machines slicing through the field, and they're not sure how far back the next sedan is.
Yeah. And what's funny is it's the open wheel and these more sports racers that aren't being conservative. The sedans are being more conservative. And you'd think that these open wheel guys would be the ones that would be the conservative ones. Yeah. Now, like I was talking about, Sherm Johnston and Steve Yarborough, they crossed the start-finish line at the same time yesterday. Sherm Johnston just got the better of him, and that Sherm right there, right in front of the 76 of Steve Yarborough, who's been with us at almost every event this year. Little red Corvette. Yeah, it's blue. Yeah. But Sherm Johnston also out here from Boise, Idaho, but he was with us at Indy and Mid-Ohio this year. And there is that Malik. Yeah, you're right. That just looks like a drag race.
It's like a front engine drag swing. Do you remember the car when Snake and Mongoose had the dragsters and they did the aero body on the car?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like to me.
All right, so now that this is spread out, this is group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did a split start between the production cars and the race cars. It did not work out, but now that it's spreading out, drivers that don't often get to race with each other are having an opportunity, like that number 22 there, the Miata of Allison Malkassian. We just saw Ara Malkassian in the last race, and we'll see him in the next race.
It's a driving position similar to the old Panos. Remember the Panos?
Yeah.
Same thing where the drivers were sitting way back in the car.
So Temple and Herring, two Formula Bs, they're having a good race out there.
Never had the opportunity to drive a car with a driver seating position like that far at the back end of the car.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered about that. It just looked like it would be difficult to get a feel for where the corners of the car are and hunting for apexes and that sort of thing.
We saw Josh Jacobs in that Spec Racer Ford Gen 3, but here's the Miata race. Edward Hugo and Allison Malkassian.
Miata got around the sports racer.
Cody Paris and Eden Mark 10. Here's our open wheel cars.
Look at that 3 wide back with Yarborough in the middle. They sort that out a little bit. Is that Viscoyne and Johnson back there with him?
Mark Viskoff in that 24X Lola 497 CSR. And there's those Formula Bs. I love these things. That Repco there is just such a beautiful car that Viskoff's trying to get around.
Yeah.
It's Dave Sweeney in a BT14. Brabham BT14.
And we're going to have a couple of busy weeks here. We're off to New Jersey Motorsports Park next week, and then shortly after that, it'll be a trip up over the border to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
I'm looking forward to CTMP. It was a great event last year. There's that Jensen Healy.
Oh, here's one off.
That's Sherm Johnston. He won yesterday. Now he's off in that turn 7 kind of drag racer runoff area. There's that P18. In my opinion, the prettiest car Volvo ever made.
Which again, I guess kind of raises the question of why didn't you keep evolving that car?
I think that was right when they made the determination that Volvo is going to be synonymous with safety. Yeah. Now, they still made some great race cars, but they were boxy and square and station wagons.
Yeah.
You know, but they made for great race cars.
Yeah, sure did.
But I like the 122, the 123 GT, the Amazons, and the P1800s. But Volvo famously had the patent for the 3-point seat belts, that they could have charged every car manufacturer a royalty to use it, and they said, nope, we think this will save lives. we will not charge you royalty. Could have made millions, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But, and I like
respect them for
corporations make good decisions.
Not often you see one like that made, right?
So hats off to Volvo. And they have made a bunch of things for safety over the years.
Great innovators.
Yeah. And then the P1800 was the car from that show, The Saint.
Yes.
Yeah. Here it is, Stephen Smith in that beautiful Volkswagen Beetle, the Bug. That car has a ton of history. We were speaking to him yesterday. Raced here in Oregon. It's the only year they released the Bahama Blue.
Nicknamed Gilbert after the original owner of the car. Tribute to him. It is such a cool car in every way, shape, or form.
And don't like seeing production cars and Fords going because Gary may not be able to see him. Gary's small in that Volvo P1800. Look at that 14. Stephen Temple and a Brabham BT35. They're going to try to flat toe Sherman Johnston in. There's our leader in the production cars, Group 3. Gary Small. Casey in that Volkswagen. There's the TR4.
One of the cool things about this Beetle, as Steve was telling us yesterday, Ben, when we were chatting with him, the original owners of the car, he tried for years to get the car away from them. They kept saying, no, we don't want to sell it. Too much extreme. They finally decided to move off from the car. They called him, said, we've chosen you to be the person to own this car. And he talked about how many volumes of records he got on the car. It is basically a library. And I said to him, so when you get ready to sell the car somewhere down the road, will you do the same thing and handpick who you think will shepherd the car forward? He said, absolutely.
Yeah, when you have a car with such provenance and history, you're more of a custodian of the car than the owner of the car. And then that is a Ford Cortina right behind him.
My dad had a Beetle. That was his daily driver back and forth to the office. And I remember as a very, very young kid riding in the far back of the car. There's that,
on the shelf?
In the shelf area back there. And we had a hill that you would go down coming into our neighborhood, and I'd be back there and he'd be giving me a ride, and he'd always pop it out of gear and rev the engine and a downshift, going into the corner. And man, I thought that Beetle was a race car. Of course, I thought it was Herbie because Herbie was out, but here is a real car, a real race car. Herbie before Herbie, actually, the age of this car. I guess the Herbie movies came out in the 70s, right? Was it about 70s?
So late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah. Let's see.
So that would be, we saw the B sedans earlier. This would be a C sedan car.
Right.
So Mini Coopers, Volkswagen Beetles that would be considered a C sedan. Now watch out, guys, because you're in your own race, but you've got some Formula Bs coming up behind you.
Herbie the Love Bug was released in '68. Right around Christmas.
But then there were tons after that. There's Herbie, the Monte Carlo, and all that.
Yeah. Herbie races again, and then of course it was reinvented years later, right? Herbie Fully Loaded and that whole thing.
Which is also a great movie. So, Cortina.
Did you see F1 yet?
I haven't, no.
Saw it this week.
I'm excited to see it. You were telling me about it yesterday, and you said it was a great movie.
Yeah, very well done. I'll tell you what it did. It has put the pressure on Tom Cruise. If he is going to remake Days of Thunder, do a sequel, he's going to have to step up the game because F1 did a tremendous job of following in the footsteps of combining entertainment and racing the way Days of Thunder did.
Tony Viskoff around. Christine Casey in that Volkswagen Golf and his Ford Cortina GT. That's a beautiful car. Cameron Mell in that Triumph TR4. Look at the lines in that car.
White flag is out. One more to go here. Groups 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Their second sprint race of the weekend.
Allison Malcassian now getting a big gap. But look at this, Stephen Smith and that Ford Cortina of Keel Phillips. They're having a good battle.
Final lap for the Bug. Checkered flag waving.
Sedan. So our first of our production cars is going to be Gary Small in that Volvo P1800.
There's the Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah. Christine Casey in that Volkswagen Golf. Well, what started out as a scary race ended up pretty good. That could have all gone very badly. I'm very proud of our drivers. We threw everything at them, and they handled it very well.
I would tell you, Ben, that was some of the best driving we've seen all weekend in racing.
That could have
from
been
these drivers. It could have been, but they were outstanding in how they were patient and respectful of each other, and it looks like Steve Smith and the Gilbert Bug is going to get the win.
Unless somebody put whipped cream in the gas tank.
Yeah, that's the tack sticking out the front.
Yarborough won today in that Formula 4. Man, that's such a relief, Ralph. You know, I'm just good friends with a lot of the drivers in here. Very proud of them. I apologize for what we just threw at you and hope that doesn't happen again, but nice job, everybody. Jason Perkins at the top with Stephen Temple, Joshua Jacobs, John McCoy, Grant Perryman, Dave Sweeney, Mark Viskoff, Steve Yarborough, Cody Paris, John Puccini in 10th. Dean Willoughby, Tony Viskoff, Christine Casey, Cameron Mell, Allison Malcassian, Edward Hugo, Stephen Smith, Keel Phillips, Gary Small, and Richard Thomas.
And Ben, we are getting our white flag. One to go. One more race on the weekend here. Speed Tour Portland International Raceway. Group 8, Hoosier 2.5 Challenge Sprint Race. Coming up, so we'll take a quick break here, and then we will return for the last race of the weekend with SVRA.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Yes. Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street-legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Architecture is about everything. We change the environment. We are changing how people live in the environment today. So we basically put our fingerprint on the future of what the United States looks like. My overall business philosophy is that I'm engaged with my company from top to bottom. And I think the racing world and helping out the next generation and younger drivers is a passion of mine, and it's getting stronger and stronger every year. With that, that's why I want to be involved.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
Said. One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it.
up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
All right, we are back here at Portland International Raceway in the shadows of Mount Hood, not far off the banks of the Columbia River. And this is our final race of the weekend here with the Speed Tour, Portland International Raceway. This is Group 8, the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. We just saw there at the back, they texted me a picture of themselves. They said, be nice, but Phil Hartstein and Armin Gorbani are starting from the back in this race. So I'm not sure what happened there, but anything can happen with the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge, one of the best race series in vintage. Lots of fun to watch. These are B sedans set up as they would have been run in the Trans Am series in the 70s, back in the John Morton days. And this is a lot of fun as they come around turn 12 to come down the long drag race strip into the green flag.
Waiting patiently as they roll out onto the front straightaway here. Keep an eye on the upper right, looking for that green. There it is, and we are underway. Headed down to the Shelton chicane. The old festival curves. 3 wide, deep in the field. Up front, first one turning in is Jeff Mosing.
Ooh, but Brian O'Shaughnessy gets inside on 2, and I don't think Mosing would have been expecting that. O'Shaughnessy, aggressive move to get up.
Your leader. Headed down to turn number 4.
So it looks like it's O'Shaughnessy, Mosing, Moriarty. Let's see if they come around. Yes, and then Ara Malkassian. Oh, but we've got Zane O'Shaughnessy and Tony Delane, 2 drivers about the same age, both in BMW 2002 side by side. Then there's Steve Walker, Daniel Wu. So he got his car fired back up. There's Tim Probert, and then Hartstein and Garbani around 7.
And what's cool, too, when you walk around the paddock is how many of these guys are pitted together.
Oh, these are all very good friends. They have a lot of fun. Ashley and Troy Ernest do such a great job of putting this all together.
Whoa, that was one way off into the dirt and not back on either.
Reiner Wolf in that 13A Datsun 510. Looks like Tony Delane is going to be around Ara Malkassian.
Mosing looking the outside, which would be the inside at 2. Not close enough to do anything with it. There's one around the 74 car.
That's Daniel Wu. Looks like he's stalled. He's going to get fired back up.
Oh, heavy braking, tire smoke too coming out of Mosing's car. We're down at 4.
Daniel Wu back on track.
It's like that Beamer's starting to roll the body a little bit.
Sure does.
He's pushing pretty hard.
He is driving that thing to the limit. So Brian O'Shaughnessy, and also races in SRO, I believe, in an Aston Martin. Jeff Mosing, an IMSA driver, 1 and 2 right now. Brian O'Shaughnessy, last year's Hoosier 2.5 Challenge winner, champion. His son Zane is out there. Zhang in a BMW 2002, number 22. We'll see him on the screen here in a second. There's our leader. Saw Tony Delane locking up his rear brakes going into 12. Brian O'Shaughnessy trying to break the draft. Look at him snaking away. Because these cars cut a big hole in the air.
Boy, Mosing right there with him. You can see the back end of that Datsun dancing around a little bit too.
Mosing got a better run out of 2, maybe. Nope. Now Moriarty might have a look at him.
Delane not far out of that battle as well.
Mosing did the right thing. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to get the momentum. We'll pick up into 2 and gave it back to Moriarty and just wanted to duck right back into his draft. So now Brian O'Shaughnessy, big lead. So now these Datsuns might need to work together, draft each other down this long banana back straight just to try to use the draft to catch up to that BMW. Then we've got Tony Delane, Ara Malkassian, and then there is Zhang O'Shaughnessy. Always exciting as the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge, isn't it, Ralph?
Oh, yeah.
And there's Steve Walker, Gorbani, and Tim Probert going into turn 10, 3 wide. Phil Hartstein. Uh-oh, look at this.
And here comes the battle out onto that front straightaway. The Beamer still in the lead. Those two 510s hot on its tail.
Falling back a little bit as Tony Delane, Ara Malkassian coming up behind him. But it's anybody's race here in this top 5. Anybody, in my prediction, in this top 5 could take this. And I think right now Moriarty might be in the best seat. If you notice, Brian O'Shaughnessy is driving his BMW to the absolute limit, and that's also his personality. Moriarty looks a little bit more comfortable back there, like he's going to let this race come to him, as does Mosing.
Yeah, and those shadows just getting longer as we get late into the afternoon, just after 4:15 out here on the West Coast. Yeah, he disappeared. He's dropped all the way down to 11th overall.
He's coming through the pro pit lane.
Yes, he is.
Well, that's unfortunate. He's going to meet up with our pace car. And I hope he knows he can't go out if he wants to, but this gate is locked. So here we go. Jeff Mosing, Tony Delane. Ara Malkassian.
And then Moriarty's going to go around.
Yeah, Moriarty back on track, but this is a huge gap now with O'Shaughnessy out front of Jeff Mosing. Tony Delane and Ara Malkassian is going to try to make a move around.
Oh, he bounced up over the curbing there and it pushed him way out at 10.
So that's Daniel Wu there in that red and silver Datsun 510, and now he's being followed by the leaders. Brian O'Shaughnessy, Jeff Mosing, Tony Delane, and Malkassian. And this is pretty equally yoked here. It's BMW, Datsun, BMW, Datsun. Daniel Wu just trying to get out of the way of the leaders.
It's a smart move there.
Yeah. Mark Rincon at 67. Kevin Shaw. So let's see, what does Jeff Mosing have from Brian O'Shaughnessy? Datsun 510s just don't have the body room of the 2010s.
Yeah.
Okay, so Moriarty coming into pit lane. Coming to pro pit lane. That's something myself. Come the leaders. O'Shaughnessy just hanging that out, but Mosing able to close that gap. And let's watch O'Shaughnessy snake back and forth trying to break that draft. That's just going to let the other guys behind him pass. Oh, here we go.
There it is, looking inside, going into one. See the rear end dancing around under the brakes. And he turns in sharply and pulls a bit of a lead.
Yeah, but that was some fantastic driving from O'Shaughnessy to not collect both of them. So Brian, nice job on that one.
O'Shaughnessy is far from done though, isn't he? He's sticking right there.
See if that sticker that Holly Ermish put on the back of Mosing's car does in fact make him faster. O'Shaughnessy dipping some wheels, trying to give it everything he's got. Now he has to duck behind Mosing and try to get into that draft. And now we've got Tony Delane. Big gap. I don't know what happened to Ara Malkassian. Crazy turn of events here.
Yeah, it sure has. Oh, locking it up is Delane.
So there's Mosing out front. Brian O'Shaughnessy just behind. Tony Delane in third. Great race by Delane. He started 7th. He was in 3rd. There's Rhino Wolf. So Tony Delane falling back a little bit. Those round beam tail lights of the BMW 2002. Jeff Mosing looking a pretty smooth line. O'Shaughnessy's going to try everything he can to catch him. That's a tall order. These Datsun 510s, which is very well balanced, as O'Shaughnessy lays some stripes down there.
He did. Yeah, he did.
See, this is the square taillights of the BMW in that number 18. Edmund Germain. It's the later version of the 2002. That's Edmund's beat car. Kevin Shaha there. Mark Rincon, 67. leaders have spread out. This is a good battle here with Shaha and Racone. Now Cassian has fallen back to 6th place. Tim Probert and Gorbani are going at it for 4th and 5th. Seems like everywhere we go, it's a Datsun and a BMW, or a BMW and a Datsun.
Yeah.
This is a good equalizer track, I guess, here at Portland, because we've seen the Datsuns absolutely dominate at other tracks, but this one seems to be pretty equal. Here are reports of Patrick MG going slow on the back straight. We're halfway through this race, ladies and gentlemen. Bon Jovi time. We're halfway there.
Oh!
He is living on a prayer. Mark Racone. Trying to get that fired back up. There's Tony Delane. Armin Gorbani, Tim Probert, Ara Malcassian. Armin Gorbani starting from the back. Working his way up to 4th. He's just looking for a double yellow.
Yeah.
Because he's the fastest car on track right now.
Yeah.
Should I throw my hat onto the track and just have a competition yellow?
Give it to him.
Here's Probert and Penny trying to get right behind Gorbani. Not sure what happened to Ara Malcassian, but he was running right up there in that top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Also Zhang O'Shaughnessy. But look at Probert. Probert may be losing his tires just a little bit, or I'm sorry, Mosing may be losing his tires here just a little bit as well. There's Mosing coming up behind. Maybe green count.
Rincon just went by us here at
Yeah.
start finish.
So Ara Malcassian trying to get around Tim Probert. There's Phil Hartstein trying to join in with these 3 510s. So Ara taking Tim Probert into 1. Body headed in. Currently 4th. Then Malcassian, then Probert, then Hartstein. So Hartstein also started from the back. Hopefully his family is watching. Leave us a comment. Tell us where you're watching from, who you're rooting for in the comment section. Karen Jankowski saying you're doing a great job on play-by-play, Ralph.
Well, I appreciate that, Karen. Thank you very much. Obviously a very intelligent and smart lady.
Yes, it's probably good looking as well.
Of course, that's a given.
Here comes Brian O'Shaughnessy. Right behind Mosing. Trying to get him. That's very frustrating when you kind of start to lose the leader like that, doing everything you can, can't a little bit too far back for the draft, trying to figure out where you can maybe get him, where you can maybe be faster. Jeff Mosing, though, I've noticed going into 1, when he gets hard on the binders, that car goes left and right on those calipers gauge. That's scary. White flag next time by Ralph on the leader, 5-6.
Mosing's having a great day here today, isn't he? What a good weekend.
He has.
We get to see the 2.5 Challenge cars when we get to COTA as well?
I think so. They're going to be at Thunderhill. I think they're going to be at COTA. They have their own championship. They run some really cool events. You should come out and be sedan race with the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge. Contact Troy Ermich with 510 Parts Outlet. So it's O'Shaughnessy.
Thunderhill weekend is October 10th and the 12th.
Yeah. That'll also be a Trans Am Western Championship.
Are you interested in going?
They had a great race last year there. It makes for some really good sedan racing. So here comes Mosing down the front straight to take that white flag. So what was a 5-car race up front has turned into, it's Jeff Mosing's race to lose. Waving. Oh, he waved to that just to acknowledge that local yellow. There's a local yellow there at turn 4. So, doing everything he's supposed to do. Oh, because of Kevin Shaha there off. What is that?
5. That's 6.
Oh, Malkassian around Gorbani. So Malkassian now into 4th.
Leader out of 7. Headed down the backside of the racetrack.
And we haven't mentioned Steve Walker, but Steve Walker comfortably in 8th place. Nice job, Steve. Yeah, Mosen. Hopefully somebody's talking to him if he has a radio in that thing. Take it easy through this carousel section that's so difficult.
9 and
go
10.
off.
And the final 2 corners at 11 and 12.
So bring us home, Ralph.
All right, final checkered flag of the weekend. Sports Car Vintage Racing Association Speed Tour here at Portland International Raceway. The 2.5 Challenge goes to Mosing with the win. He has had a tremendous weekend here. Shaughnessy will hang on for 2nd.
Watch Gorbani, though, because Malkassian went into the dirt. Gorbani might be able to get him, but it looks like he's too far back.
Tulane gets 3rd. Malkassian 4th. Gorbani, and then Probert in Penny.
And then Hartstein. Hartstein gave Probert a run for his money, though.
Well, Ben, as they're on their cool-down lap, wrap up the weekend for me. What do you think?
Very proud of our Trans Am Western Championship, going green to checkered in both races. No full course cautions. We've had some great cars here this weekend with SVRA. Some cars we don't often see, like a Volkswagen Beetle, the Luigi BMW CSL of Steve Walker, the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge, which never disappoints, put on another green to checkered flag race with many lead changes. And we had a fantastic car show, our second biggest car show, the Haggerty Cars and Caffeine Car Show, second biggest of the season. Some great weather. Portland International Raceway, just a lot of fun to come up to the Pacific Northwest.
Fans turned out. We had good fans here all weekend long, taking in the scenic sights around this racetrack. There's a lot of great places you can sit and see large chunks of the action. We got strawberry shortcake. Thank you, Ernie Spada. It was just a solid weekend all the way around. Here's a look at your results. As we said, Mosing, Shaughnessy, Delane, Malkassian, Gorbani, Probert, Hartstein, Walker, Wolf, and Rincon in your top 10.
Patrick MG, Edmund Germain, Kevin Shaha, Zhang O'Shaughnessy, Josh Moriarty, Daniel Wu, and Hanjin Woot in that Volvo. And Dean Parks joined us, watching from Lola, Wisconsin, rooting for the 11 Datsun. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah. We are going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back and have the podium celebration for you from here in the shadows of Mount Hood. Stay with us.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, Speedcom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. trusted by competitors across the world.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
Good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
We turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Portland International Raceway has been a great host for our Speed Tour weekend. Rounds 4 and 5 of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli Western Championship, as well as Speed Tour with our Sports Car Vintage Racing Association. Beautiful, beautiful weather out here. If you're baking in the heat anywhere in the country, I hate to tell you, it's absolutely gorgeous out here this weekend. Well, there are the cars getting ready to go through post-race inspection, and some podium celebrations are going to happen, and we are going to run out of time here. So with that, I will thank Andy Lally and Ben Sissel for joining me in the booth and covering the action on pit lane all weekend long. Our next stop is next weekend. We'll be in New Jersey Motorsports Park for more great racing action. We hope to have you join us from there. For now, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Portland. See you next week in Jersey, everybody. Good night.